This story comes to us from news.yahoo.com. Yahoo! A Fort Myers police officer was fired last week after an internal affairs investigation revealed the officer lied on his application about an arrest for theft by deception. Really, he lied. An officer lied? I don't believe that. Officer Joshua Kuhl's neighbor told the department about Kuhl's 2004 arrest. The neighbor had accused Kuhl of retaliation for filing an internal affairs complaint against him. Now, Officer Kuhl was then fired on December 7th for what Chief Derek Diggs described as contrary to the code of ethics, department policy, and our high standards. Does Fort Myers have high standards? I don't know, I'm just asking some of you Floridians. Matt Sellers, president of the Gulf Coast Police Benevolent Association, representing Fort Myers Police Department officers, said the union would make an effort on Kuhl's behalf to reverse the decision. Of course, because the union always supports bad cops.
We have learned 2 Fort Myers police officers were fired earlier this week in separate investigations, and at least one of them was fired accused of having sex while on duty. Fox 4's Rob Manch is at police headquarters where he's working to find out more for you.
Well, at this time, we've requested both the termination letters and the investigative reports for both officers fired. And while we're still waiting on a response to that request, Public Information Officer Kristen Capuzzi was able to confirm to me that at least one of the 2 officers was fired for having sex on duty.
Well, while it's disappointing whenever the chief has to make that decision.
Fort Myers Mayor Kevin Anderson says misconduct within FMPD will not be tolerated by the police department.
That the leadership does not take misbehavior or poor performance lightly.
Police Chief Derek Diggs echoing the same sentiment through a statement saying, "I hold our officers to the highest possible standard. We have made great strides in professionalizing the department." He also says this behavior is from a past chapter, and we have closed the book on that era of FMPD.
We filed a grievance on December 8th in the case, Sellers said. The PBA believes that the termination was not based on just cause. Well, if he lied... Internal affairs records obtained by the news press say that in August, John Caltagirone, I messed up your name, I apologize, an HOA board member of the Entrada neighborhood, filed a written complaint against Officer Kuhl, accusing him of harassing him while off duty and filing a false police report with Cape Coral Police Department. The police report filed by Kuhl accused Caltagirone of harassment, threatening, and intimidation, but the reporting officer determined that no crime was committed. Now remember, this is an HOA member. You know, the housing authority. It comes and says, you need to mow your lawn. Your bushes need to be trimmed a little. Yo, we're gonna give you a written letter. So this cop probably got pissed off and said, well, I'm a cop. I'm just going to take it out on this guy. This guy's going to leave me alone. I'm not just your ordinary housing authority resident. I'm a cop. I don't know. I'm just guessing. That is based on other bad cops who have done other things. But we move on. The police report filed by Officer Kuhl accused Caltagirone of harassment, threatening. Oh yeah, I said that. But no crime was committed. So it was only after Caltagirone received the police report that he found out that Officer Kuhl was a Fort Myers police officer. Internal affairs records show. He also told the department's internal affairs officers that through his own research, he discovered that Kuhl had been arrested for theft by deception in 2004. And it goes down from there. So what happened, to kind of give you the moral of the story, this HOA guy was, who's a neighbor of, it was a neighbor dispute, basically. He's a HOA board member. Probably pissed off this cop, and the cop said, well, I'm going to do a complaint against you. They found no crime was committed. He did a FOIA, probably, this Caltagirone guy, and found out that Kuhl was arrested for theft by deception, but never put that on his job application. So if he lied on his job application, how many police reports does this guy lie on? I mean, there's a pattern. And in fact, was it Cape Coral Police Department that said no crime's been committed. So who knows what he told them?
Capuzzi tells us Officer Brandon Winters was let go on Monday and Officer Joshua Kuhl was let go on Tuesday. Winters was the one investigated for having sex on duty. But in a press release, the department said that both officers were, quote, engaging in behavior that is not acceptable for a Fort Myers police officer. Capuzzi tells me we will likely learn more about why Officer Kuhl was fired on Monday.
Yeah, Officer Jason Jackson was terminated 5 months after he was placed on his second paid administrative leave over the summer, following an internal investigation. An investigation performed by an outside firm revealing misconduct within FMPD. Now known as the Free Report, it's noted some allegations of officers leaking information to drug dealers. FMPD took a closer look into the findings and investigated some of their own, including Officer Jason Jackson. He was placed on administrative leave twice following concerns from the community. He was terminated yesterday on several charges, including associating with convicted felons and maintaining a personal and sexual relationship with an active or former confidential informant. But the Gulf Coast Police Benevolent Association, who represents Jackson, says he was wrongfully terminated.
We clearly believe his termination is not supported or based on just cause.
And the plan to appeal is in motion.
It's immediately being processed as we speak.
But I wanted to bring this to your attention because here we go, Fort Myers cleaning out the trash, ain't protecting this guy. What's going on? He's not part of the blue line or what? You let me know what you think.